Profitable goat farming is one of the rapidly growing livestock business here in Uganda. This is due to the high demand of goat meat and milk. Most of the youth and the entrepreneurs here in Uganda are taking it up because it's really money making. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, Emlinza Farms, as we take you through profitable goat farming together with my co-director today. We're going to give you a few tips, just few, like 21 tips of how to manage a goat farm and still a profitable business goat farm.
But before we start, maybe don't forget to subscribe to our Emlinza channel on that subscribe button down on the left hand side. Tip number 1. First and foremost, you should decide your initial investment or startup cost that you're going to spend on your goat farming project. It is always good to base it on the number of goats that you're going to stock in your farm. Just before you start doing all that, you need to get some good basic goat training in the goat farming business.
Yeah, you can do this from your nearest goat farms. You watch YouTube channels, take a lot of books, read a lot of books about goat farming, and involving many WhatsApp groups having other goat farmers. Tip number 2. Prepare your goat farming business plan, which contains the number of goats you want to have, the feeds, even if you're going to have it on free range or feeds from home, let them be planned for, vet services, other labor, like casual labor to take care of the goats and what, let them also be looked at. Then the drinkers, the feeders, let all that be looked at. But all that summarized in your plan, don't forget to look at the market plan and how you're going to be selling these bunches of goats in a year.
Tip number 3. Once the plan is in place, decide the breed that you want to take up for your business. Some of the breeds like the Boer breeds, Savannah, Mubende are good breeds for meat, and there are some other breeds good for milk. But today we are looking at most especially the meat breed, which is Boer cross or Boer Savannah cross. Those are the breeds we are talking about in these plans, in these tips. Yeah. So you need to plan on which type of breed you're going to get that is going to give you a good return and very fast when you do your goat farming.
Take your vet with you so that he can help you to select some good goats, healthy goats, and yes, can always be detected basing on the teeth and the body structure of the goat. So let the vet always help you, just in case you're not very
conversant with the type of goat that you want to buy, or with the ages of the goats. You need to know the age of the goat. Don't buy very old goats. Buy goats that are going to get return, or goats that are still growing, so that you can get your money back.
Tip number 4. Build a goat house / shed, but you can also call it a goat pen. Always build this goat pen according to the requirements. This time around, the requirements are goats. Build the goat pen according to the number of goats you're expecting to have, to multiply, or to have as a goal. But as you are building, always look at having locally available materials. Let the shed not be costly. Let it be over low cost. As long as it has the basic requirements for a goat pen, then we are good to go. Always consider using materials around us that are going to be at a cheaper price, because at the end of the day, goats are the business, not the pen. So when you end up putting a lot of money in the goat pen and stocking a few goats, it won't bring the business sense of it.
Just like you can see in the video, our structures that we have on the farm, on the demo farm, it's simple, something that is very simple. Tip number 5, feeds. Now, feeds is something that is very important as an input for profitable goat farming. Don't just buy feeds. Rather, it would be good you plant some of these feeds. You can cultivate them on your land. Things like maize, sorghum, millet, these are very good feeds for making silage for your goats. Just like if they are doing free range, they can go do free range and then come back, you give them the silage. Then you have some other crops that are good, or fodders that are good in protein. Fodders like
Coriander, Lucena.
Coriander, Lucena, those are good feeds for goats because they have a lot of protein in them. So that means that the conversion rate of those crops from fodder to meat is high. So you'll be reducing cost on that and making money out of it.
Tip number 6. For goat meat, always select good breeds with good meat production in a short time. This, as our local market stands, we have the Boer crosses, the Savannah crosses, the Kalahari crosses, and Mubendes. These are good breeds for meat. Always look at goats to stock within your community, within your area, so that they are not affected by the climate. So in that, if you get them from far areas and you bring them in your area, they may be affected by climate. But these ones you have stocked around, they're good with the weather, they're good with the pastures around, so they won't take long.
Okay, now tip number 7. After selecting suitable goat breeds, bargain. Take some time to bargain so that you can get a good buy. In case you're buying many goats, definitely I'm sure you can get a good price for the number of goats that you're going to be taking. Now, this is where you normally save money and to finally reflect in your final profits. And also, we talked about the breeds. Don't forget that we're not saying that you should go for only cross breeds. No, you can go for the pure breeds like the Boer, Savannah, Kalahari, but these are normally costly. So that's why we are talking of the cross breeds.
Tip number 8. Buy your goods in bunches. For example, if you buy 50 as a first bunch, bring another 50 as a second bunch before the first bunch is sold off. Make sure your goods will be ready at the time of special occasions, just like introductions, Eid, Christmas, Easter, as you make good profit during this time.
So far we have given you 8 tips. I hope you guys are writing down or following. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit that subscribe button in the corner. Tip number 9. Always make sure you have some feed ready before getting the goats into your farm. Now this normally helps so that when the goats are into your farm, they are not starved. You need to make sure you have the feeds and clean water for the goats.
Number 10. The goat pen should be cleaned and disinfected before getting these goats onto your farm. Make sure all is set, the place is clean, disinfected, just in case you had some bacteria or viruses you didn't know. So you have disinfected and you're making your coming goats safe.
Tip number 11. Make sure that before these goats are brought onto your farm or before they are joined with the other goats, make sure you have all the required vaccinations and deworming medicine for these goats, so that when they are at the farm, you vaccinate them and you deworm them.
Let's get to tip number 12. Follow the standard feeding process in goats. This gets to you to never take your goats to feed late in the evening or early, very early in the morning when there is still morning dew. You know how morning dew brings sores on the mouth, and late in the evening how many accidents, snake bites, feeding wrongly may be caused that will bring again problems to the herd.
And you know what? Just in case you haven't been following us or following this video, somewhere within this video we're going to include a download link for all these tips. There are not so many tips that we have come up with when you're doing goat farming, profitable goat farming, especially for beginners. Yes, we're going to be including a download link for the tips. Tip number 13. Periodically you need to have a frequent healthy checkup for your animals, for your goats. You can do this by having a daily routine check, a weekly routine check, or a monthly routine check. Now normally the monthly routine check, you should include a vet doctor. The daily routine check, you can do it with the farm manager. The farm manager can be doing it and doing health checkups. We shall also be putting a healthy check list that you can use. All this we are going to be sharing. Tip number 14. For a better and faster growth of your livestock, of the goats that you have purchased, you can feed them with a green fodder, something like Caliandra, Lucena, Sasbania, Napier grasses, or you can feed them with, or in combination with dry fodder like hay that contains alfalfa, and with some feed, some concentrate, some feed concentrate. So it's a combination of all that you can give your livestock.
Tip number 15. If any animal is sick in the flock, isolate the animal immediately. Otherwise, other goats may get the disease.
Tip number 16. Just in case you have purchased pregnant goats, make sure you give special care to these goats. Don't forget to vaccinate them, deworm them in time. Also, if you have kids and lacting mothers, always give them special care.
Tip number 17. Never allow strangers or any other animal, be it wild or domestic, onto your farm, because these carry diseases. For strangers or visitors, if at all need comes, you can use disinfectants to disinfect them so that they don't come with diseases on your farm.
Tip number 18. Make sure your farm is fenced. Always do this to protect your livestock from country wild dogs, wolves, foxes, or any other predators.
Sometimes the predators you're talking about are fellow human beings, so make sure these strangers or thieves don't approach your farm.
Number 19. In order to succeed in this goat farming business, you need to maintain a goat weight chart. This can be achieved by weighing these goats every week. Each and every goat has to be weighed every week. This will help you to know the milestone you're having on your goats. How fast are they putting on weight, or how fast are they converting the feeds into protein, into muscle. This will allow you to increase the feeds or nutrients for better growth.
There are some procedures for goat fattening. Please follow them.
And these procedures actually are going to be, they're actually on our website. Yes, we shall share the link where you can download them. The fattening procedure for the goats.
Tip number 20. Clean and wash the drinkers, stroke feeders regularly. Also provide clean water for the goats. Make sure the goat pen is cleaned on a regular basis. Tip number 21. If you're going in for goat rearing, breeding, the male and female goat ratio should be 1 male to 30 females for effective mating.
Tip number 22. Use the collected manure for growing green fodder. In this case, you don't need to buy any manure to grow your fodder. Now you see how you're starting to cut costs. This is another way of cutting costs when you're doing goat rearing.
Tip number 23. Whether for milk, fiber, meat, cheese, or even selling young goats, you should have a proper marketing plan.
Now that we have seen all those tips that we have shared with you, profits may vary from region to region, and this will also depend from breed to breed. So all these factors have to weigh in. Having a good goat farming business plan along with a good marketing plan will definitely fetch excellent profits. Happy goat farming. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Linza Farms. Also our Facebook page at Linza Farms. Our contact number 0753 53 6414.